Hello, I'm Jon Ellis with the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. In our last video, we took you guys up the Tellico River and taught you about fishing and recreation activities in the Tellico River corridor. Today, we're going to go past the Tellico River Road turnoff and continue up the Cherry Skyway to see Citico Creek, which is another stream in the area that provides outstanding trout fishing opportunities and is stocked by Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. At 9 miles past where the Tellico River Road separates from the Cherry Skyway, you'll see a sign for Indian Boundary Lake. Turn left here onto Forest Service Road 345 to begin your Citico Creek fishing adventure. 2 miles after turning off of the Cherry Skyway, you will encounter Forest Service Road 35-1 on your right. Forest Service Road 345 will continue into Indian Boundary Recreation Area at this point, and there is a store there where you can buy supplies if necessary. I would highly recommend checking their website for hours and dates. One thing to remember when you're going into the Citico Wilderness is you are going into a true wilderness area, so it's important to have any camping or fishing supplies with you before you get here. If you're coming in through the Tellico side, I would highly recommend contacting Tellico Outfitters. Before then, you can call Tennessee Fly Company in Charleston, Tennessee. There are various outlets and stores in Tellico Plains where you can buy supplies, and then if you make it up this far and need something, you can also swing into Indian Boundary Store. While today we're focusing on accessing Citico Creek through Tellico Plains, a lot of people will visit Citico through Von Orr, Tennessee via State Highway 360. If this is the case and you're looking for last-minute supplies before you start your adventure, consider stopping by Sloan's Hardware. They have a full sporting goods section there that's fully equipped with camping supplies, fishing supplies, and a wealth of advice before you head this way. Another fishing alternative I thought worth mentioning in this area is Indian Boundary Lake. Here we are at the boat ramp at Indian Boundary Lake. It's important to note that motorized boats are not allowed here, only canoes, kayaks, and boats that utilize electric trolling motors. Indian Boundary Lake offers an excellent opportunity for anglers to pursue bass, catfish, and crappie in a unique mountain lake setting. We finally made our way down into the Citico Creek Wilderness area. The first stop is campsite number 14, also known as Warden Field. A short distance upstream of here, you'll find the confluence of the North and South Fork Citico Creeks. This serves as the upper boundary for our special regulation area, and from that point down to the confluence with Little Citico Creek is closed on Thursdays and Fridays during stocking season to allow the Tellico Hatchery crew to stock the river. It's important to mention that there are plenty of wild trout fishing opportunities in the Citico Wilderness. North and South Fork Citico Creeks are both offer great opportunities for fishermen to go in pursuit of wild rainbow trout. And for those of you that are interested in pursuing Tennessee's only native trout species, the Southern Appalachian brook trout, TWRA Region 3 Streams Crew has, in cooperation with the Tennessee Aquarium and the U.S. Forest Service, has reestablished almost 18 miles of brook trout water in the Cherokee National Forest. That includes almost 2.5 miles that was reintroduced in 2001. Future plans are to continue to expand brook trout waters throughout the Citico corridor and wilderness area. Before we leave Warden Field and make our way down the Citico Creek, I'd like to show you guys an example of a typical campsite that you could expect to find in the Citico Wilderness. This is true wilderness camping, so there are not many amenities here. Most campsites will feature a fire ring, maybe a tent pad, but this is a true wilderness camping situation, so you need to make sure that you have all your necessary supplies with you before you arrive. As you start down into the Citico Wilderness, I'd like to point out that you will be leaving paved roads and going onto graveled Forest Service roads. These roads can be affected by weather very quickly. It's not unusual to see potholes, rutting, and things after big rain events, so I would recommend contacting someone and finding out road conditions or checking one of our online sources before coming down into Citico Wilderness. Or you can always just call the Tellico Hatchery and one of us will be glad to tell you what the conditions are. As you make your way down Citico River Road and find a spot that you'd like to fish, it's very important that you get your vehicle entirely out of the road. This includes having both tires clear of the roadway. This is for your safety as well as other anglers that will be utilizing the road while you're there. Located 1.5 miles below Warden Field, you're going to come to Double Camp area. The Double Camp Bridge and Campsite 13 right below it. This is one of the few areas in the Citico Wilderness that you will have access to restroom facilities. Campsite number 13 offers primitive camp spots right beside Citico Creek and is an excellent place to start your fishing. Because the temperatures in Citico Creek increase as the summer goes on, the length of river that we're able to stock is reduced. Therefore, we have set dates to where we cut back to certain spots on the river. At Double Camp, this stands as our lower barrier for stocking from after the 4th of July on. So from the 4th of July on, all stocking will take place between Warden Field and Double Camp. The first bridge located below Double Camp is what we refer to as the Tall Bridge. As I mentioned earlier, the entire extent of Citico Creek is not able to be stocked because of water temperature, and therefore we drop back at certain points in the year. The first cutback of stocking of the year will take place here at the Tall Bridge and happens at the end of May. From May 31st until the cutback at Double Camp, which occurs after the 4th of July, all stocking will be from the Tall Bridge up to Warden Field. After the 4th of July, all stocking will take place from Double Camp Bridge to Warden Field. Located approximately 3 miles below Warden Field is campsite number 12. Campsite number 12 is an excellent example of the camping you can expect here in the Citico Wilderness. It's rustic camping. You have plenty of areas to put out tents, a fire ring. It's located right on the side of the road. You can easily get your vehicles out of the road, and it's also straight across the road from an outstanding fishing run and several deep pools. We're at Jake Best Campground, which is the lowest point on Citico Creek where the Tellico Hatchery stocks. From this point down, special regulations still do apply. The day closure of Thursday and Friday, and I'd like to emphasize that there is still plenty of fishable water below Jake Best Campground. When our stocking season starts in March 1st, we will go from Warden Field all the way to Jake Best Campground until we start our initial cutbacks on May 31st. Jake Best Campground also has several things that you won't find at other campsites throughout the Citico Creek Wilderness, such as very nice level campsite areas, picnic tables, and bear-proof garbage cans, as well as a restroom area. Citico Wilderness is a pristine wilderness area, and we ask that you utilize these garbage cans to get rid of any trash that you may have accumulated on your trip. If you can't pack it out with you, be sure to get it in one of these cans. It makes the whole area much nicer. Nobody likes to fish over somebody else's garbage. Not only does it take away from the fishing experience as a whole, it also provides a hazard to the organisms living in the stream. This sign located just downstream of Jake Best Campground represents the lowermost boundary of our special regulation area. As I mentioned earlier, those regulations start at the confluence of North Fork Citico and South Fork Citico Creeks. From that point to here, special regulations do apply, which do include the Thursday and Friday day closure, which is in effect from March 1st until October 15th. This is a time of change for management in TWRA fisheries, so these regulations are apt to change. With that in mind, I would highly recommend that anybody planning to fish any of our local rivers or streams consult a fishing guide, utilize one of our online resources, or contact one of our regional offices to make sure that you are in compliance with the regulations of the particular area that you fish. It is the angler's responsibility to know the regulations of the area which they intend to fish. I'd like to thank you for joining us today, and I hope that you've learned something about the Citico Wilderness that makes you want to come here and fish. The Tellico Hatchery crew and fisheries biologists work tirelessly to provide a quality fishing experience here in the Citico Wilderness. On the average Thursday during stocking season, the crew gets up well before sunrise and will make over 60 individual stops on Citico Creek. I hope there's something here that appeals to all of you. Don't forget about all of our wild stream opportunities, not to mention the chance to go after Tennessee's native Southern Appalachian brook trout. Visit us on the web for resources pertaining to many of the areas that we've gone over today. I hope that you'll consider Citico Creek for your next fishing adventure. Whether you're a new angler or somebody looking to return back into the sport of fishing, Citico Creek provides an excellent opportunity to catch above quality fish and many wild trout opportunities as well.